Alright, I am back with another Destiny 2 video, and a somewhat unusual one at that. This week we had a micro controversy in that Bungie had a quest step for the Destiny 2 seasonal quest this week where you needed to kill 50 champions. Too many champions. That is too many champions. Except the exception was Master Ketchcrash, where if you killed a champion, it counted as 13 champions. So you really needed to just load into Master Ketchcrash and do 4 champion kills total. Not hard, and yet this caused a big division in the community, and that was even before the quest step was auto-completed, where it was between people who think that we shouldn't have to LFG and that doesn't have matchmaking, that's bad, and people are like, it's not a big deal. My position is that LFG and having to LFG sucks, especially for a lot of dedicated activities that do not need mics or really any real coordination to be completed, so long as you are like mildly an okay power level and have like a champion mod on. But this is the system we have. We know that Destiny is eventually going to be getting an in-game LFG system. I don't think that's coming with Lightfall. I thought it was like the year that followed Lightfall. I'm not sure exactly what the timing is, but the point is it has been without LFG for years, at least in-game LFG. But my relationship with Destiny really changed when I started using LFG that exists already. And this is when Bungie built it into their own website, which you see here. And then there is a version of this on the Destiny mobile app. And then I know that there are people who use a Destiny 2 matchmaking Discord. I think that's community run, I'm pretty sure. I don't use that, so I cannot give you advice on that. But if you are into Discord, that seems to be a very popular thing that people say is better than this LFG. But I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of like how to do LFG on here, because I know a lot of people either don't know this exists or like think it's too complicated or just don't want to use it at all. But like this really did change my relationship with Destiny in that I'm doing way more activities than I would have otherwise. There is some stuff I will not, necessarily endorse this for, like finding random raid groups on here for things that require like lots of communication. That is a big risk, but this opens up a lot of doors for all of the Destiny content that probably should be match made but is not match made. Like a lot of the tiers of Nightfalls, all the master level activities for things like Master Ketchcrash and the master seasonal activities. Even some dungeon instances I think you can farm on here pretty well. Legendaires, like there's a whole bunch of stuff that is for whatever reason not match made that you can find on here. So it's a really easy process. It is fraught with some sort of technical complications from time to time, but those are pretty easy to get past once you kind of know how the system works. So first you'll be asked to log in with your Destiny ID. I have already logged in here, so you can't see my login information, but you will click over here. This is the URL, by the way. And if you just Google Bungie.net Fire Teams, it'll probably take you here. You'll be asked to log in through one of your platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, or Stadia, I guess. It doesn't matter which one you log in through, really. It might default you to whatever platform you're on, but because we have crossplay now, it really doesn't matter what you're logging in as. I usually do Steam just because it's faster. Sometimes I'll do PlayStation, but it really is not a big deal. So this is the kind of main page here, and as you can see, this is not live updated. You have to refresh it, and it's going to start you with literally like every single activity in the game. You don't want that. So in this case, what you're going to do is if you want to just find a group, you will scroll through all the lists here. And they have lists for pretty much everything. Like, I don't know why you would need to matchmake for Sever from Season of the Haunted, but you can if you want to. So that is an option. But it essentially has everything that you could possibly want matchmaking for. You can do it. And this also, like, this includes some ridiculous stuff, like exo challenges and things like that. But, like, Blind Well, Altars of Sorrow. But, like, it's more often than not, like, these are things that you will probably want matchmaking for. So Season 18 is Ketchcrash. And so here, if you want to get into Master Ketchcrash, there will just be, all of these were created within the last 2 minutes. This one is probably only here because it's another language, and then not everyone speaks that. So all you will see just things with blank slots here, and LFG is so prevalently used that by the time you click on some of these, Like, I can already tell that was too late because I'm loading into it and I know it's gonna be full by the time I get here probably. Okay. So you can hit join and it's no more slots. So for stuff that is like current and popular, you will have to be pretty fast. So you go back, there's a new set of things. This was made 2 seconds ago. You go in, you join up, and then eventually, I'm not going to actually join these because I don't want someone to invite me to something I'm not actually in the game right now. But you would fill one of these slots, you would go to your platform, and then you would just wait for a platform invite. Almost all stuff like this, no one is on mics here. No one is talking to each other from Master Ketchcrash runs. This is different if you are LFGing for like a raid or like a full maybe dungeon playthrough or maybe like a trials group. But for like Legends, Dares, and Master Ketchcrash and Master Wellspring, like nobody is on mic here. So I don't really think this is like, oh, I'm antisocial, I don't want to LFG. It's just normal matchmaking. It's just more complicated and annoying. And it's really not even that complicated fundamentally. So this is the way you would get yourself into a group. You would just sit around, you would accept the invite, and then you would join up with the party. There are generally not that many qualifications here. Like sometimes you will see people be like, you must be 50, 90 plus or whatever, or bring mods. Bring mods is always one, like you should be bringing mods if you are doing an activity with champions, just out of common courtesy, if nothing else. The minimum power requirements are whatever. If you are way, way below, I can see maybe you getting booted, but if you're a couple power below, I would not view that as maybe a hard and fast reason not to join something. But like as you can see, there's so many of these. Like those were all fill. So okay, so say something is full now, then you create your own fire team. So you just do Master Ketchcrash, bring mods. And this doesn't matter because of crossplay. You can pick whatever you want. If you want more PC players, then sure. Make sure you pick the actual activity. Make sure you pick, so if you're in a group and you already have 3 people and you want 3 more, you pick 3. If you are by yourself, you pick 5, and then you can say what character you're on. It doesn't really matter. And then crossplay, I would pretty much have crossplay on for most things except maybe PvP. Whether you could, I don't uncheck this. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. You can just do whatever you want. And then you create fire team. I sometimes will get an error for this. In creating a fire team, I've had some issues on here. So here's my fake one that I am now tricking people into joining. So you will sit here and you will wait for slots to fill up. Again, because this is a popular seasonal activity, I do not expect this to take probably more than a minute or 2 to fill up in total. As people start to join, you can see your Bungie name, you can see what kind of character they're on, what their power level is, and you can either kick them out or you can send them an individual invite. And what most people usually do is things that fill up fast, and this is not filling up as fast as I hoped, but because we were in the middle of the workday, school day here in the US, once this fills up, you would do send any platform invites. And this will just auto send an invite, a fire team invite, to everyone in this group here. Let me refresh this and see if that helps things along here. Man, people just saw me and they're like, I don't want to do a Master Ketchcrash with Paul. He sucks. So I'm not inviting people anyway. But the point is for something that is pretty popular, this would fill up, and then you would do a mass invite. Once that's done, you can close the fire team. You don't really need to. And then you would hop over to Destiny, and then one by one people would join. If someone on the list ends up not joining, you can resend an invite or like resend to all to get them to come. Then once your 6 people are there, you're done. You load up Master Ketchcrash and you get going, and that's it. And I'm going to close my unpopular fire team thing here. It might help to close fire teams if you're making like a new fire team. But that's pretty much it. Again, I would recommend this for a wide variety of activities. Most levels, maybe anything under a GM, probably I would use this for. GMs, you're gonna want some communication. Like, it's not mandatory because it is still fundamentally just a strike, but I think it would help to communicate with people. And I like doing those with people I know more than randoms. Raids, if you don't know the mechanics and it's not the most straightforward of raids, that may be a little tough to. You're not really going to no-mic your way through most raids, but you can still. Plenty of people still use this to find raid groups, and it is a gamble. You can have good experiences, you can have bad experiences, but it is, an alternative if you just don't know anyone. This is where things start to get more social in this area, but it's one of the only things. Back before Trials had freelance, I used to LFG for Trials teams. I would just literally, a lot of people were like checking stats, like must, have a 2.0 KDA. My Trials teams would just be like, just trying to get 3 wins for the bounty and the engram we get. So it was like just chill and we lose all the time, but it was a way to find a group. Before that had matchmaking. For dungeons, for duality, once I learned the dungeon, like with people I actually knew, and I wanted to go farm the dungeon, like those mechanics are not necessarily ones where you need to be communicating. So like if you know how to do, vault in duality or something to farm Stormcraft, like you don't need a mic for that. So you would just make a listing for duality and be like, we're farming second instance, and then just do that. There's tons of stuff in here if you need help with your exotic quests, that some of those can get pretty difficult, or Master Wellspring, or old things like that. If you're really trying to go back in time and matchmake for Empire hunts, or get a pro Gambit squad together, like you can do all of this stuff. The less popular stuff is, the harder you might have to, harder time to find a team. No one's matchmaking for Blindwell. There's no reason to ever matchmake for Blindwell. Maybe not since it came out, and the instancing used to be really bad on that. But so again, this whole thing exists also on the Destiny mobile app, the official one from Bungie. Yeah, 2 KD plus. Okay, very fun. Don't DM people. There will also be some scams on here. Don't DM anyone who offers you a carry or is selling whatever. Just don't talk to those people at all. There's some sort of spam filter on this, but a lot of stuff gets through there. So you will probably run into some issues with that. But outside of a few technical challenges, this is really not that hard to navigate. It is pretty straightforward, and it will unlock a lot of, pinnacle sources, different rewards and stuff you get from master levels of things. And it is not like a social thing. It does not need to be I don't want to talk to people, so I don't want to match, like I don't want to do LFG. It's really not that. Unless you were doing very, very specific things, like you're trying to find a full raid group or something on here, you don't really have to worry about that. This is just matchmaking with more steps using something outside of the game. And I think this is pretty much what in-game LFG is going to be like once that comes around. It will, from what we saw, it looks a lot like this. So this is just my brief rundown here in terms of like how to join a team, how to create a team, and I literally, I didn't use this for a number of years, and then a couple years ago I started, and I really have gotten to experience a lot more of the game because I don't like, necessarily tweeting to assemble groups or, LFGing like normally for stuff, but like this system is just very easy and very basic, and it's just essentially matchmaking by itself, just mildly more complicated. So anyway, I know a lot of people here, this is redundant information and you knew this and you probably didn't make it this far in the video if you already know how to do this, but I know a lot of people are either avoiding LFG or scared of LFG or like don't know how to do it, and that's why I made this. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.